Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Emma and today I will be sharing with you a mini book haul of books that I received for Christmas and books that I purchased myself between the months of December and January. And I will also be sharing some of my 2023 reading goals. So if that's something that you're interested in, grab a seat, get comfy, and let's get started. So the first two books I have to share are actually the only two books that I purchased for myself this year, and they are both from the Lord of the Rings series. They are The Two Towers and The Return of the King. And both of these are hardback books, and they are both illustrated by Alan Lee. And so now, if you've seen any of my other haul videos, I have the complete Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit set. So that's very exciting. So hopefully I'll get through those this year. It's a bit of a story behind both of these. So The Two Towers was not available at my local store, so I had to order it online through Chapters, which is fine. It took a little bit to get here, and then when it did, it came in one of those like wrappy half box things. I'll insert a picture of what I'm talking about if I can find one. And that's not a big deal, but it was snowy that day because it's Canada. And so luckily we were both home and my husband saw it get delivered, so he ran outside, but the delivery person like put it right in a snowbank, and because it wasn't a completely sealed box, snow got inside it. So luckily we were home and it had gotten wet just on the top here, and so I opened it up really quick and took the hairdryer out and gave it a blow dry, and it worked out fine. But if I hadn't been home, or if I hadn't have known to like check, it could have been a crinkly page situation. The Return of the King was available at my local bookstore, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little bit of a tear, I don't know if you can even see it there, on the dust jacket. So the salesperson at Chapters was so lovely and she gave me a discount, and that was a lovely surprise. So I'm very excited to read these two. The next book that I have to share with you is this beautiful edition of Emma by Jane Austen. It's a beautiful hardback with these floral designs and has lovely gold edges. I have never read a Jane Austen book before, so I figured I should probably start with one who has the character with the same name as me. So I'm really excited. This was gifted to me by my sister for Christmas, and from what I can gather, this book follows a main character named Emma, and she thinks she is a much better matchmaker than what she really is, and she tries to be the matchmaker for her friend Harriet, and general chaos ensues. So it sounds like a grand time. I also love books that have these like ribbon little like bookmarks included. It's handy to just you always have a bookmark. I usually end up using the receipts from when I check out a library book. I have bookmarks and I've made bookmarks, but I'm just like, the receipt's there when I check out. So the next book that I received was The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey, and I have read this book before. I borrowed it from my library last year and I loved it so much that I asked my parents for my very own copy for Christmas. So I'm really happy that I can now reread it as often as I would like. So this story follows characters Jack and Mabel, and they moved to Alaska in the 1920s, and they are unable to have children, and so one day they build their own child out of snow. The next morning they wake up and the snow child is gone, but they start to see a young girl playing in the wilderness around their home. And I believe this is based on a Russian folk tale. You can fact check me on that. But it's beautiful, atmospheric, and cozy, and I just generally love it. So it helped me get out of my reading slump, and I it's a 5-star read. Definitely recommend if you can get it from your local library or from your local bookseller. The next book that I received is The Paper Palace by Miranda Coley Heller, I believe. And I heard about this because it's part of Reese Witherspoon's book club. And I thought it sounded interesting. I'm going to read you the back rather than me struggle to describe the plot to you. So the synopsis says, it is a perfect August morning when Elle Bishop awakens in the backwoods Cape Cod cabin where her family has spent every summer for generations. But this morning is different. Last night, Elle and her oldest friend had a secret, passionate encounter outside in the darkness while their spouses chatted away inside. Now Elle will have to decide between the world she has made with her much-loved husband, Peter, and the life she'd always imagined would be hers with her childhood love, Jonas, if a tragic event had not forever changed the course of their lives. So, I think that sounds pretty dang good. So, I am intrigued. And the last novel that I have here is One Night on the Island by Josie Silver, who wrote One Day in December, which is probably one of my favorite romance novels to date. I loved it. And I just happened to see this book one day when I was at my local bookstore, and my brother kindly gifted it to me for Christmas along with The Paper Palace. And this book follows characters Cleo and Mac. Cleo wants to spend her 30th birthday alone at a cabin in Ireland, I believe. Yep. She wants to spend her 30th birthday alone in this cabin, but the rental company made a mistake, and Mac is there too, and they end up having to share the cabin. Which wouldn't happen in real life. But I think it just sounds like a cute, fluffy romance, and I am here for it. So that is very exciting. I can't wait to read it. I don't know if I want to do this one in February, because Valentine's, but it seems like kind of a summery read, same with The Paper Palace. We'll see. The next book that I received is actually not a novel, but a book of knitting patterns. So this is Saltwater Gifts, and it's by Christine Legros and Shirley A. Scott. This is a book of traditional Newfoundland knitting patterns, and it has patterns for things like socks and mittens and hats and all kinds of fun stuff. I also borrowed this from my library last year, and I didn't actually make anything from it, but I just kind of wanted to see if I would want to purchase this. And I decided that I would, in fact. So on the Christmas wish list it went, and I'm very excited to try knitting some mittens, because I've never done that before. So we'll give this one a shot. So I'm very excited. So that is it for my mini book haul. Let's get into my goals for the 2023 reading year. So this year I definitely want to read more classics. Last year I read Dracula and it was pretty good, but this year I want to read The Count of Monte Cristo, some Jane Austen books, Frankenstein, and I just want to try to get into some more classics just to see what they're like. And I also want to read more thrillers, because I think over the last year I really discovered how much I enjoy thrillers as a genre. So if you have any favorites, comment below, let me know. I'm always looking for more recommendations. So another big goal that I have for myself this year is tracking my reading. So I started making these reading wrap-up videos, or I just started making reading wrap-up videos in August of last year. And before that, I don't really have a record of what I had been reading. So I looked at my library. It's like if you take ebooks out from my library, it keeps track of what you've taken out. And I read 41 books, 41 ebooks from my local library. But I also had taken out physical books. I also purchased some books. I also reread some books of mine that I own, so I really don't have a count on that. So this year I really want to keep track. So how I'm going to do that is I actually bought a reading tracker on Etsy, and I will link that down below. And I really like that for the visual of just seeing like how far along I am. I've set a goal of 55 books for myself this year. I probably read more of that than that last year, but I want to read a few like chunky books this year, like The Count of Monte Cristo and the Lord of the Rings books. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of grace. And I've also started using Goodreads. So I will leave my link to my Goodreads account down below, or my Goodreads page, however you call it. So I have been tracking this month on Goodreads and leaving reviews as well. And yeah, and that also gives you like a tracker. It lets you like set your own personal goal and then see, and you can leave reviews and follow friends and stuff like that. It's like Facebook but for book people. It's great. I downloaded it last year and I tried to use it, but I just like didn't really get into it. So I'm excited. I'm committed this year. So that is it for now. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this mini haul and goals for reading for 2023. Do you have any reading goals for this year? I would love to know. Thank you so much again for listening and taking the time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.